Welcome to the Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My podcast,
where the supernatural gets real, baby.
Hey, Spirit Gang. Welcome back to Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My. I'm your host, Nancy Christine Brady.
And I'm Tara Diana.
And we are so excited for today's episode. Well, I am because I researched it.
We're always excited for everything that we do.
It's true. It's true. And so we are, regardless of what we're doing. So today, Tara, we are going to explore a slightly different topic that I'm excited to go over, and it's messages in the water memory, and spirit communication. How does it go together?
I have no idea, so I'm trusting you're going to tell me.
Absolutely. So, as you know, I love watching all the Ancient Aliens shows and all of those different deep dive true crime shows, and you name it. If there's a show, I like to watch it. If it's got a question, I need to find the answer. And so I actually had something pop up on Instagram, and it was a really cool image of a fellow who was taking close-up photography of snowflakes, which led me down the rabbit hole from there. So it went all the way down to like, well, that's interesting. Those are made from water. I wonder if water can maintain memory and da-da-da-da. And so that's what ended up driving us towards this topic. So can water remember emotion? Can it transmit energy? And more importantly, can I speak? Can it help us communicate with spirit? So what are your thoughts initially when we get into this?
Way over my head. Way over my head. I see a snowflake and I'm like...
So for the people who are listening, she stuck her tongue out to catch the snowflake on her tongue.
I would assume it can, because everything is energy. So I assume it can, but I really wouldn't understand it. Like, I mean, snowflakes fall to the ground and just disappear.
Okay, so let's deep dive a bit then. So what is water memory? I think that's where we should start at the very beginning. And so for those of you watching, yes, Tara and I consult our notes, so you might see me looking down to consult them. So we have that disclaimer just because we're a little bit salty sometimes. So we had to do that. So the theory of water memory suggests that water retains memory of its substances once it comes in contact with them. And this was first explored with Jacques Bonavistine. And he published this controversial research, and it was back in 1980. So back in the 80s, come on, we were like worrying about Knight Rider. We were worrying about like really big hair.
We were worrying about David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, we were.
We were worried about girl, but I don't know if it was David Hasselhoff. Let me tell you.
Miami Vice. I'm just thinking 80s party and what everybody comes dressed as. So there was things going on in the 80s that, maybe not as much metaphysical. And he was totally like, it was controversial, and the science community went, no, you know what? We reject you. We don't think that, so his whole thing was that he published a controversial research saying highly diluted solutions could still have biological effects, as if the water that was in these solutions was remembering what it had been in. So he was putting water in all these different things. And so they said, oh no, you know what? You are...
As crazy as an outhouse rat?
Yes.
That's kind of where I'm going with this a little bit here. I can put the dead people, but I don't know about this water stuff. Go on.
Okay. So it opened a floodgate. So in spiritual and metaphysical interest. And of course, in the 80s, growing up, I really feel that was the cusp for us with a lot of the books that were coming out, because there was only really one or two practitioners that you could go deep dive on some of these books. And since then, like in the 90s, it exploded. So suddenly you had all sorts of mentors and teachers and books you could read. So same with the science. So there was a doctor, fast forward, Japanese doctor Masaru Emoto. Hopefully I'm not saying your name.
Look at you slaying the name.
I'm trying very hard. So he took this concept and he took it further, and he exposed water to various words, music, players, and then he froze it and he photographed the crystals after under a microscope. So that's where I'm going with that snowflake thing.
Oh.
Okay. So what he found was water was exposed to words like love or gratitude And those water bits formed into beautiful, intricate crystals that almost look like mandalas. And then there was water exposed to the words hate or anger, or had like really hardcore heavy metal music played. And those formed distorted and chaotic patterns. The water that was prayed over and blessed became noticeably more structured and luminous. So they would take a water that they put hate and anger or heavy metal music on, then they'd pray over it, and then they'd retake the pictures. And it was crazy. Tara, we're going to put a picture in our Instagram, but I sent one to you in a text. So I want you to take a look at those images and tell me what you think.
Okay, I did see those images. Let me take a quick look again at them in my text messenger. I'm coming. Apparently, I'm not coming fast enough. Okay, let's just leave that alone for a second. La 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 la. Okay, messenger, found it. Okay, where's Nan? Okay, I think they're beautiful.
So explain it for the people who are listening.
So when I'm looking at these, not only are they different shapes, some of them are like a little more, they're different colors.
Yeah.
I think that is super, super cool. And different sizes, but you can see through some of them more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, okay, so this is a really, really luminescent one. Like, I maybe that's not the right word of what I'm looking at, but they are literally, you guys, and she's going to post these for you, but they are like purples and yellows and intricate. Like when I'm saying intricate, they're like mandalas.
Yeah, they look so cool, right? Like just like mandalas. Now tell them a little bit about the dark ones that were subjected to hate and heavy metal. And
so when I'm looking at those, I'm looking at the thank you. And compassion. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked there. They are less intricate and kind of a darker energy, but I'm trying to get this to become bigger for me, Nan, but it won't come bigger for me.
Some of them even look slightly brown.
They're definitely different looking.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the ones that I'm really drawn to are the ones that have these like a luminous kind of feel, right? Like wisdom and compassion. Those are the ones that draw my attention. The dark ones are just heavy. They're just not, they don't have the same feel.
Yeah.
Which is crazy weird.
Yeah.
Crazy weird.
But crazy cool, right?
But crazy cool. Absolutely.
And so for the scientific work that he did, as far as the spiritual implications, that was one thing I found that was really profound, because if water holds this memory, it's also holding intention, it's holding vibration, maybe even consciousness, right? So why does that matter to us? This is where it gets juicy, in my opinion.
I was going to say, tell me why this matters, though. Tell me why I need to be up on this.
So as intuitive, as mediums, as healers, as all of that, you know, Tara, you and I say this all the time, everything is made of energy. Everything is made of energy. So how does water come into play with this? Well, water is a conduit for energy.
Oh, so true. So true.
So now we have a scientific sort of image of this. We have a scientific visual of this. So water is everywhere in our bodies. Water is everywhere in our environment. It's even in the air that we breathe.
Yeah.
So spirits, being energetic beings, imprint their frequency into the water, just like sound or light or intention.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that makes absolute sense if you're not thinking about it, it's kind of like, I don't really understand all this. But when you think about it like that, you're like, oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so think about it. So like there's so many different tools and practices that mediums do. So we've got scrying. We've got, where you gaze into water, or like an obsidian mirror. So you can stare into water to receive visions. Spirit bowls, where you can put water and candles and intentions into it. Ancestral offerings, where you've got water placed on altars. I've even seen things in, I don't want to say the word, but I'm going to exorcisms, or when people have haunted houses where you put water in the corner of the house. and salt, apparently. So water is part of a lot of rituals. Mediumship involves water sometimes for grounding, amplification, or clarification, right?
And water is really a lot to do with mental and emotional detoxification. People go to the water
Yes.
to cleanse. So they'll go and they'll take a nice dip, in the water to let go of feelings and emotions and whatnot. So that leads me to a crazy question. I wonder, when people go and they do the dip and they're leaving all their emotional baggage behind, if the water carries that.
Or transmutes it?
Well, we would hope, because then the water would be a toxic place.
Yeah, because I'm a firm believer that it carries it away. I'm a firm believer that, like even when you are having a bath and you put some Epsom salts in, it pulls that out of you. And I believe it pulls it out of the water in your physical body into the bath water, and then you release all the negative and anything that doesn't serve you, or that your sore muscles or anything like that.
That is so cool, because then it goes down the drain.
Yes, and gets recycled and cleaned at the little water plant.
Okay, I think we're getting crazy now. Yes, that's true.
So I really believe that water can carry the vibration of spirit communication, just like a tuning fork can do this, right? Like I had one of my mentors tell me this once, because when we are raising our vibration in our body, we are actually sort of changing how some of the physical, because we are 80% water, right? So I really believe that we are changing some of that physical in order to adjust, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
I am here for what you're putting down.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's balance the woo-woo with a little bit of science. So water is highly conductive, so it's perfect for carrying subtle electrical signals. It's sensitive to its environment. It reacts to temperature, to sound, even human emotion. Okay. It's programmable. It can hold the imprint of a vibration like crystals can. Okay. So that means that water is basically acting like a spiritual USB drive. So receiving, storing, transmitting frequencies across dimensions. This is very similar to the Lemurian crystals. You know how they have all those lines?
Yep.
And so they're supposed to have entire stories documented within those lines, and they store the stories, they store the energy. So my question would be, maybe your ancestors are speaking to you through the water in your bath, or the tears that you cry, right? She's giggling at me, but this is...
You know what you just reminded me of?
What?
I will never forget a man who did a lot of hypnotherapy work and stuff at the church way back. His name was Andrew something. I can't remember anymore. Well, yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, he told this story about being in the bath and laying in the bath, and he opened his eyes and he looked, and there was a tiger coming out of this wall at this bath. I don't know why that just reminded me that, but absolutely, he told this story and I was like there for it.
Totally. And I've had some of my most profound meditations in the bathtub. I love a good bath. Like,
yeah, you do.
I do. Like, lose me for an hour. And I mean, I have a massive, like, 2-person tub. So it fills it right up to the chin, and you are in there with bubble delight. It's beautiful. And so you can do a meditation. It's very profound, I think. I think it just amplifies everything. So I want to give our listeners a little water ritual for spirit connection.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I guess we're going to try a little experiment. So this particular spirit water connection, there's 2 I've got. So you're going to fill a clear bowl with spring or filtered water, and you're going to place your hands over the bowl, and you're going to say a prayer or invitation to your spirit guides or loved ones. Excuse me. You can optionally add flower essence or rose water or essential oils if that's your jam. Totally do that. And then I want you to gaze into the water, and I want you to let images and feelings and messages arise from the water. And then, of course, you always hear me say this. You hear Tara say this all the time: journal, journal, journal. So afterwards, whatever came through, as subtle as it is, it could be a color, it could be a feeling, it could even be something, a memory. Like maybe the water's making you think of Nana, and she used to bake cookies with you. Write it down, because the odds are that, and we were talking earlier, and you hear us talk in all of our episodes of there's tools. There's tools that help us do the work. There's tools that help us be the telephone. So I'm very interested to see what our listeners get by trying that. It's really not about seeing spirit. It's not about seeing ghosts. It's just about you being able to listen to the silent whispers that are coming through.
So it's not scrying per se.
No, not this particular exercise, but they could. I mean, if they really wanted to, for our advanced listeners out there, you could certainly, if you haven't tried water scrying, give it a try. It's definitely something that's kind of cool.
I think it's a really nice feel, though, using that water energy and to just see what comes up. What is it working with you, right? Because water as an element is a huge thing, right? We teach about using the elements, and water as an element is a huge thing. So if you're talking about water and it having, memories and holding on to things like that, I wonder if the connection is even so etheric, right? So etheric that it just allows you to bring forth whatever you need to bring forth as well. It's not necessarily, I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe not necessarily about the water itself holding memory. That's a whole different ball game. But what you're using the water to bring forth from your own self, the water is that reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not about spirit. It wouldn't be about bringing a loved one through.
No. And, even as you know, Tara, every night when I go to bed, the way that I flush away my day is I meditate with orca energy. So I literally am at the edge of a lake that has a sheer drop off, and I call orcas in and I swim with them and I let go my entire day. And it's the most, it gives me goosebumps to think about it, because they're literally these massive beings swimming next to me, and it's so powerful, and it just clears my day right out, clears my stress away. Now, if you're terrified of the ocean, don't do that as meditation. Just a small disclaimer. But it is there.
If we're scared of water, now we have a whole different ball game going on here.
We should have a water
for you.
water disclaimer at the beginning, but okay. So this other one I found online, I have not tried yet, but I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. It's more of a science experiment. So if you want, get a couple clean jars, fill them with water. Fill it with cooked rice and water, and label one jar "Thank you," and label the other jar "I don't like you."
Ooh, I like this already. This is so interesting.
Okay. So every day for a month, I want you to pick up the jar and say nice things to the thank you jar and mean things to the other jar. And watch what happens in a month. And then I want you just to send us a direct message and tell us what comes up. And we can go back to our comments, and we can put some comments in our episode after it's published. But it's going to be crazy when you guys see what happens to the rice over time.
I don't know if I want to be me.
And you don't have to. It's just a science experiment. But remember, even if you can't see it, your thoughts and words might be changing the world around you.
Oh my God, the mic drop right there.
So this is about spreading love. This is about being grateful and watching amazing things happen. How can we use this? Well, a lot of people still aren't sure about Dr. Emoto's experiment, but here's what we can learn from it. Here's what I think is important to take away. Be kind to yourself and others. Your words matter. Think positive thoughts. They might change more than just your mood. Surround yourself with good music and happy people. Appreciate the water you drink and say thank you to it.
Oh my goodness.
So that's my thing about water. So next time you're by the ocean drinking your tea or crying in a pillow, remember, water is listening. Water is alive. And water just might be whispering back to you on behalf of spirit.
I love that. Oh my goodness, peoples. Oh my goodness.
So I think we should really try so maybe each of us should take a jar. So if you just want to be the happy jar of rice, you be the happy one, and I'll be the mean jar of rice. And then a month from now, we'll have a podcast recap and show people our rice.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Absolutely. Love
Any last thoughts on that, Tara?
it. Now I'm hyper focused on this, like the words I'm going to say to my rice. I love you with every ounce of my being.
And I just, my whole family is going to be like, what are you doing?
That reminds me of that bird in the fridge thing with Ryan, the freezer. Why the hell is there an owl in our freezer?
I never heard this story.
Oh my gosh, it is such a funny story. So I'm going to do this in a long way. Hopefully no one from like the environmental agencies or anything comes at me. But a client reached out to our friend Lynn and said, I found a dead owl on the street and I've got it and I don't know what to do with it. And Lynn says, give it to Tara because she works with the elders up in such and such a place. And I was like, what do you mean give it to Tara? Long story short, he shows up with a little cooler and this frozen owl.
Oh.
And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take it up there. Now, owl for some Indigenous communities means death.
Yes.
So anyway, I put the owl in my freezer. Ryan goes in to get something out of the freezer. He's like, why the F, he says, is there a dead bird in our freezer? Because it's not, it's not like a turkey or a chicken, right? And I'm like, oh my God, it's a long story. Anyway, I take it all the way up to the elder, and the elder says to me, why the hell are you bringing me a dead frozen owl? And I'm like, I don't know. It felt like the safest, smartest thing to do to honor the owl. Anyway, it was a bit of a joke afterwards, but Ryan was like totally appalled. He was like, why the F is there a dead owl in my fridge? Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay. No water memory there.
No water memory there, unless the frozen droplets when they were de-thawing. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Let's bring this to a close, baby. We have a reading for someone. As always, you must stay all the way to the end to get the reading.
Yes, you must.
So we do, through our Patreon, we pick someone for every episode that we do, someone from our Patreon as a thank you from the bottom of Nancy and I's hearts, a reading. And today is Aaron W. Nice. Aaron W. You can go first because I'm right here.
So Aaron W., just in case you're wondering, I'm using the Palladian Wisdom Oracle cards. Another one of mine. I love the art. I know you guys hear me all the time. It's one of my favorite decks, but it's like all 56 of the decks I have are my favorite decks. Okay, here's what we're going to pull for you today.
I'm sorry. Pause for just a moment.
Uh-oh.
Did you say 56 decks?
Oh,
nan.
Oracle decks. I have tarot decks in addition to that. And
Oh, nan. Somebody's got an issue.
Listen, I have a problem and I can admit it, and it's okay. I also have an excessive amount of crystals.
Listen, Linda. Listen. Okay, go ahead, boo.
Oh, Aaron. Okay, so what we got for you, my friend, is we've got purpose and choice. And you can see this beautiful sacred geometry that comes into play with this card. And this is really about, and it's funny, because it's really about choosing your actions wisely. So I'm not sure if my deck was getting a little bit imprinted from the actual podcast, but choosing thoughts, actions, remembering that you are powerful. So what you are putting out to the universe, it is being returned to you tenfold. And you know, it's funny, Tara, I used to live with a witch. And I remember at the time, and they were like, you be careful, your words can hurt people, and they really put the fear of God in me when it came to like your words and what can go out there. But I really feel that this for Erin is about more manifestation. I feel like the words that she's putting out there is talking in the I am perspective of, I am a millionaire, I am working the perfect job, I am surrounded by the people I love who I want in my life, that type of purpose, that type of choice. And you're in the cusp of this right now because the energy right now between here and the veil is very, very strong for you. And your guides are standing very strong on the sidelines. So I really feel whatever you put your mind to and whatever you put your words and intention to is going to unfold beautifully for you. So I'm going to leave that with you, Erin.
Okay, cray, girlfriend. Okay, Erin, I'm going to show you this. It says stepping through. Now, I want you to look at a couple of things. This totally jives with Nan's card. One, you're coming out of a lotus flower. That's growth, right? You're blossoming. Two, there's a Merkaba right at your heart center, kind of between your heart and your solar plexus. This is trust of self, but it's also being open to all the goodness to and fro. There is a butterfly in the corner. Yep, just wanted to double check. There's a butterfly in the corner, transformation, hummingbird up above, sacral balance. This is talking about stepping through from one phase of your experience, so one era that you've been in, and allowing yourself to move to the next era with ease. This is what we call a true transformation card. It is giving you all the steps. So it's giving you the transformation with the butterfly. It's giving you the balance with the hummingbird. It's giving you the growth. Hey, you're blossoming right out of a lotus flower, girlfriend, like holy. And then it showed you the Merkaba, which is sacred geometry and is so powerful just on its own. But when you add it to all those things, Erin, you are in the midst of an era switch and adjust and a shift, and go and slay it, girl. With Nancy's card and this card, Spirit is not leading you wrong. You won't be disappointed.
I love that. And I wonder, does Erin work with sacred geometry at all?
I don't know if she does, but I do know that she's dabbling in spiritual work.
Nice. So that might be something she might want to explore as well, with so much sacred geometry coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Take a good look at that and see. Merkaba has always been my thing. I love me some Merkaba, but there's other sacred geometries as well that may resonate more with you. So take a good look at that. And on that note, what are we going to say, Nan?
Until next time, keep flowing and stay connected. How about that? That was a good tie into the water.
Keep flowing. Don't tell all your secrets to water or tell all your secrets to water. But go and follow us on all our platforms. Nancy Christine Brady, Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. Make sure you give us a like on all our streaming platforms, because Nan has us streaming everywhere now, and I love that for us. And really just, make sure that you are sharing us, because we have something for everyone, whether you are a spiritualist, metaphysical practitioner, a newbie, or just someone that wants to hear something interesting and empowering. We got you.
Absolutely. So until next time, everyone, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the wonderfully weird and metaphysical.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow us for more insights and behind the scenes fun.